Welcome back to the Midnight Special. I am your host, VALTORIOUS the Awoken. Now tonight, I will bring to you, Hellsing Ultimate. Now, this anime is freaking busted. Now let me before I even say anything. Now, if anybody who wants to watch like a really good vampire show, like an anime, like really good, like I know there's other vampire animes that's out there that's good, really good, but you want to watch something crazy, go check out Hellsing's Ultimate, because this anime is freaking good. Because you lead off with the homie Alucard, right? So you know Alucard is said to be like the most powerful vampire. I wouldn't say ever now. Well, we'll get to that story for another time, but said to be like, I guess, the king of all vampires. So first night out, he meets Victorious, right? Meets her. She gets captured by a vampire. Now she doesn't know what's going on, because it's like, she thinks it's a hostage situation. So it's like, until you find out it's more than that, it's a vampire. So she gets held hostage, and that's when thinking was like, you a virgin, stuff like that. So it was, he was like, well, if you don't want to die, you have to trust me. So eventually Alucard put a bullet through her and through the vampire that was basically he was disguising himself as a pastor, but he was in turn just draining like people, sucking people's blood and doing vampire stuff that he was doing. So basically Alucard rescued her, turned her into a vampire and stuff, and then that's when she was basically like his protege and stuff, because the whole concept of Alucard was that during, I guess, somewhere in the 1400s, where his father sold him off to the Sultan because of an agreement and stuff, and I think it wasn't to prevent a war. It wasn't to prevent a war. I know he sold him off to the Sultan for like a bit. Now the thing is, when Alucard was young, when Alucard was like a child and stuff, he believed in God and everything else, but in doing time, he felt that by waging war and reclaiming his homeland and basically killing and slaughtering everybody on the battlefield, he thought that by bringing war and in this chaos through the battle, that God himself would come back. So after when all his attempts kind of like it failed, that he felt that God basically betrayed him. So he basically, after when he got captured and he was about to have his head cut off, that's when he kind of was like drinking like he drank some human blood, and then that's when the moment he got his head chopped off, and for some interesting amount of reason he became a vampire, which we till this day still don't understand how was that even possible. Almost remind me of something in Teen Wolf about the Beast of Chevrolet Dunn, when he drank some water, and that's when he became a super beast. That's what it kind of almost remind me of. But in the 1800s, he met Van Helsing, and that's when Van Helsing defeated him. And that term, once when he was defeated, it was set in stone for him to forever be with the Helsing family. So when you start off with young Integra Van Helsing, that's when her father died, and that's when he entrusted his will to her, not to his brother. So the brother tried to cock up some sort of plan to be like, well, listen, you shouldn't have this. Like, it should have been me. My brother was foolish, and I think is what's best is to get rid of you. So she comes down the stairs because the uncle shoots her. She goes down the stairs and stuff, and that's when some blood kind of like reaches out, and she woke up a sleeping demon, which was Alucard. And Alucard was like, whoa, I could see it in you. Like, you're not afraid. You're not this, you're not that. So okay, so do you accept me and stuff? And that's she was like, yeah. And that's when he looked at this man and murdered him and stuff. And then you kind of see in stone, because it was like Walter was nowhere around, so it made you wonder, like, was Walter truly on her side, or was he trying to get the perfect moment? But we see that until later on. So after when Integra and Alucard formed like a form of a pact, that's when the Hellsing family started. She started like recruiting soldiers and other people into evolve, and that's when they just hunt down other vampires and stuff. And then that's when you had Ceres there, and then you have the Vatican with my man, my boy, Alexander Anderson. Now this man and Alucard, when they had their fight in the show, was just so freaking good, because it's like he's crazy like Alucard, and Alucard loves this, because the only reason why Alucard will ever say like only a man could defeat a monster is because he thinks back to when Van Helsing defeated him, because it only makes sense, even though we've never seen that, and it kind of looked like it was an off-panel type thing, I guess, but we never fully seen the fight on what did Van Helsing use, like what did he do. But it's been said that Alucard back then mustn't have like his restrictions, like to do all I guess broken stuff yet. We don't fully know, but we just know that Van Helsing defeated him. But when you have Alexander Anderson, he comes up against freaking Alucard, it's just so crazy because they have the most craziest epic fight. He chops his arm off, like he literally shoots his arm off, right? So he tries everything. He's like, okay, this doesn't work. Alucard shoots him up, and then he's like, okay, because the thing about Alexander Anderson, he has like this advanced healing factor where he's able to, if he gets shot in the head, he's able to heal from it. But if you shoot like other parts of his arm off, it will come off until he goes back to the Vatican or wherever to get patched up and stuff. So it's like, it was just so freaking good. And how the premise of the story later on got to where he was going up against Nazi vampires. Now mind you, it's Nazi vampires. They was planning this out for a long time to destroy Alucard. So basically Alucard had to like fight them and stuff, because it was like, well, they kind of like was causing mayhem. Like it was like, I say hundreds, maybe thousands of them in the freaking London of cities. Now, before I even get to that, later on in the show, you actually started to see like Ceres change a little bit, because she had a thing where, since she's a vampire, she didn't want to drink human blood until Integra was like, yo, drink my blood. This is spilling all over the place because she cut herself. So she's like, drink my blood. Like, what you doing? Yeah, you a vampire now. You need to start acting like it. Even in the point when they was in a hotel because they had to hunt. They was looking for another vampire who was part of the Nazi vampires and stuff, because they was doing something crazy there. Alucard basically murdered, I think, all of the SWAT team. He murdered a lot of people. So Sarah's like, what are you doing? Like, they're humans and stuff. He's like, listen, you need to stop this. Like, yo, you a vampire now. You need to start drinking and sucking up some blood. I don't know what's wrong with you. Get out my face like that. I was like, yo, my boy, chill. I think he was even asking her at one point, do you want me to release you? I think that part I wasn't sure if he meant like, do you want me to kill you to release you, or do you want me to release you so you can just be on your own like that? I kind of was confused on that part. But she eventually got to it when she was fighting this vampire Nazi chick. I think her name was Zolbrick, something like that. And she used like this sort of genjutsu magic hypnosis type thing, and was like, whoa. The first time she used it, so she was like, let's go into your darkest past. So that's when her darkest past was where two thugs broke in, and that's when they shot and they killed her mother, and then they raped her and stuff. And she was in the closet the entire time, watched how the entire thing unfold, which was crazy. So when she tried to jump out, and I think she stabbed the guy in the eye, or she stabbed the guy or something, that's when one of the dudes they shot her and stuff. And that's when she kind of was like left there bleeding out, because I think in the manga or in novels, Ceres basically, she was a troubled kid. So she was going from, I think, orphanage to orphanage, and I think school to school, because she was a troubled kid. I think she was having like a lot of fights, I believe. Yeah, and to, you know, eventually she became a cop. But after when the captain and most of the platoon that was in the Hellsing mansion, kind of like, you know, everything was going to haywire over there, that's when he died, and she finally drunk his blood, and that's when Ceres went off. Waifu Ceres, what, like, she is waifu. She went off on her, and then when she tried to use that stupid genjutsu thing again, didn't even work. She just broke out of it and stuff. Took this chick and had her head up against the wall, going all over, bit her freaking hands off, slaughtered all of them up, and I was like, yo, Ceres, my girls. Yo, Ceres, my girls, chills. Like, chills. Like, yo, she was freaking busted. Now, I'm going back over to Alucard, wrecking everything. Once when he released his level 0, it was over. This man unleashed millions, like thousands, no, millions. Freak that, millions upon people he's devoured and killed over the years and stuff, and just wrecked everyone. The first time I seen that scene, somebody say Nani. That sucker was freaking good. That sucker was freaking good, because I was like, yo, he just wrecked everybody. He summoned like a horde of demons, of people he absorbed and stuff, and he just wrecked everybody. Then after for a while, Alexander Anderson had a trump card, so he was like, okay, you are truly a monster. So that's when he used the Nail of Helena, which was basically the cross when Jesus was nailed on, and then he injected it into himself. And that's when Alucard literally had his heart broken, because he was like, what are you doing? No, why would you do that? Why? So after for a while, he became a monster of God, and he almost killed Alucard if it wasn't for Ceres kind of like, you know, helping him out and stuff. So he was like, oh, you too late, you messed up, you had your chance of killing me, you failed. And that's when he kind of like I think he ripped his heart out. I think he either ripped his heart out or he shot his heart out. I forgot what happened. I think he ripped his heart out, and that's when Alexander Anderson was talking while fading away, which was it wasn't right, man. Like, I kind of felt a way about this, because he was like, yeah, you know, he was just saying his last rites and stuff, and that's when Alucard was crying. He was like, no, this wasn't supposed to be this way. It was a man supposed to defeat a monster, not the other way around. Like, no. Next thing you know, who shows up? The betrayal of Walters, and stepped on and crushed like Alexander Anderson's faded head, and was like, I wanted to fight you for the longest and stuff. So, you know, Walter basically was plotting and planning for a while that he was going to betray Integra, but because since like the Nazi captain or general, like they had like, I guess this rejuvenating machine to kind of like, I guess, restore him back to like a young youth ish to a degree. So, you know, he was kind of like fighting him and stuff like that, and he was like, oh, you know, you're just a child, you know, this is what you wanted, like, but it wasn't happening. Now, we didn't see what Alucard was gonna do, because he literally drained the entire city of blood, which was just, oh my god, like, he drained the entire city. I don't know what type of busted move he was gonna do to Walter. I think it would have been some obliteration type shit, whatever he was about to do. It looked crazy. And too, I think von Struger jumped in there and stuff, and that's when he kind of like seen everything and stuff, because about that creature vampire, he had the power to be everywhere and truly nowhere, and that's exactly what he did to Alucard, where Alucard was able to see all types of things, and he was like, at the moment he grew powerful, he grew too much, he became too powerful, and everything that he seen, I wouldn't say it broke him, but he seen too much. Like, he became so powerful that the man left for 30 years. After when everything was over, when they killed the Nazi captain general, they killed him. Ceres defeated the wolf. What else happened? Oh yeah, Walter died, and when Alucard came back like 30 years later and stuff, that's when he was like, yeah, so I have the power to be everywhere and nowhere now. And that's when Integra was like, man, it took you so long, because he was basically killing millions upon copies of himself. until there was only one of him left. I'm like, how you even do that? But damn, it took you 30 years, but how you even do that? I was like, oh my god, like this man is just insanely crazy, man. Insanely crazy, because the story was just so brilliantly written, because it's like, yeah, you have Vlad Tempest the third, you know, the which was said was to say the son of the dragon, or is the dragon and stuff. So you know, he just comes out of nowhere and he wrecks everything. But the premise of how he said that you have to be a virgin in order for you to, I guess, be in a vampire or be a vampire and stuff, because the reason why like there was some inconsistencies where it was like, if that's so, then you know you shouldn't be a vampire. It's like, well, maybe for those, but for him, because he was never turned. Alucard was never turned into a vampire. He became his own vampire and stuff, because it was like he was raped when he was a little boy. Obviously, in his time, he did have a family, maybe a wife or some children and stuff. He probably did have that. And then eventually he became his own vampire, and that, yeah, and in turn, like, he turned I wouldn't say others into vampires, but yeah, you could probably say that, yeah, because he's the king. So yeah. Turned, like, you know, other people into like vampires and stuff, and you know, that whole thing kind of like spiraled out of control. But it was like the man was just so legendary in his centuries. It was like, yeah, nobody was again able to stop him, because if he's the first, if he's the king, who's gonna come up in there and stop him and stuff? And the only person that was able to do that was Van Helsing, but we never got to see that, nor will we ever see that and stuff. So it's like, again, this is why he always say, like, only a man could defeat a monster and stuff. Alexander Anderson, I love to say he was close, but when you stuck that nail in you were at that moment could have killed him, but you know, it just didn't work out that way. So, oh my god, man, it's just, yo, that anime will forever hold like 10 stars, forever hold 10 stars, because it was just so good. It was well written. It was busted, man. It was just freaking busted with this freaking dude and stuff. Like, everything how it led to be, where the Nazis was planning out for years and years and years on how they was going to get rid of and destroy Alucard and stuff. How they was going to take out the Hellsing family. How Integra Hellsing basically had that family up for centuries fighting vampires, and then they had the granddaddy-o of vampires on their side and stuff. And two, you know, the Vatican eventually had their own thing, and it was like, well, we're gonna be fighting all types of vampires. It doesn't matter who you are, we're gonna be fighting all types of vampires and stuff. But it was just, this show was just so freaking good. Like, it made sense for Ceres and Alucard to have to be partner up with each other, because one was raped, and one watched their mother get killed and was raped. So it was like they kind of had some similarities together, because when the moment when Ceres finally had her drop of blood, she became who she supposed to be. That's when Alucard showed up. He's like, oh, so I see you draw some blood. I'm proud. She was like, master. I was like, oh my god, see, it works so well. Waifu Ceres, it works so well. That's why I was like, yo, I kind of wanted more. I wanted more from this anime, like maybe a season 3, 2, or something. Like, maybe there's a new guy in town or something. I really wanted some more of this, because it's so good. It's so freaking good. Now, I've made a video about a year ago, like you say, like, who's the most how powerful is Alucard and stuff. I'll leave that in the description. You can check that out. I also did a matchup between Alucard versus Vampire Hunter D, which I will also leave in the description of how that fight actually like turned out. As which I've been hearing a lot, but people kept on saying it's like a father versus son type match, and it's brutal. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right, because of reasons that I won't explain until you see the video. But yeah. Just check out Alucard, because, I mean, just check out Hellsing. Beautiful anime, very crazy. Luke Valentine, rest in peace. And yeah, if you like what you heard you like, you know, please subscribe, share, do all that wonderful stuff, and I'll catch you later.